Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, coming to you from the Campbell's Custom Care Studio.
Thanks for tuning in to Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. Now, with vehicles, any vehicle, the rubber seals are the first thing to go. We all know that, Danny. They degrade over the years. Why do they go so fast?
Well, rubber tends to biodegrade, and especially the seals that were used on these cars originally, it was actually a latex seal. A lot of people don't know latex is a natural material and it biodegrades quick.
So replacing your rubber seals can be tricky, especially on a street rod like this. How can steel rubber make it more simple?
Yeah, you know, replacing them can be tricky because you're trying to find the right fit. It's very specific sometimes. So if you're working on a car, what we have done is made custom on-demand catalogs. So if you've got a 33 Ford, we can send you a catalog for a 33 Ford with the bits and pieces that we offer for it.
Yes, it's a 33 Ford, but it is a hand-built hot rod.
Exactly. So this is a fiberglass car. The chassis is not steel. It's not from 1933. The OEM parts won't fit it exactly like it would on a original 1933. So you're going to have to find seals that work for this car.
Before we get into the specific seals on this, how do I find out what seals I'm going to need or what I'm going to use once I start to look at the car? Because you guys have, what, 15,000 different parts in your catalog?
Yeah, we have a lot, but we make it real easy for each person because we narrow it down for what they're looking for. Just like this, we would probably point you towards our street rod catalog, which has everything for the engine compartment, the glass, your doors, your trunk, all in sections, so you can go through the vehicle and find out exactly what you need.
And then once I have a general idea, what's my next step?
You know you're going to work on the radiator and the cowl and your door glass. Then you can get that catalog. You can figure out what size of seal you need. That's a little bit of a tricky part, but we've got some tips that can help you figure that out. And then we can even send you samples so you can test fit.
And sample packs cost nothing, right?
Yeah, free sample packs. You know, you just tell us what you're working on as far as like, I want to put a hood decal on. We'll send you a sample pack for that. Well, I want that and the doors. We'll send you both.
So let's look at this vehicle in particular and maybe some of the common areas where seals start to go bad and where seals are used. A lot of folks think about the windows, but they don't think about the rest of the car.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, you know, from the radiator and the cowl, you've got a seal. You know, originally those keep fumes out of the cowl vent. The cowl vent's not in this vehicle like it was originally. Even stuff like the headlights, the mounting pads for those, the side mirrors. Since this is a convertible, you've got a header bow, which goes across the top of your windshield. You've got the windshield gasket, your belt line or window felts, the fuzzies, your door seal. So there's a lot of rubber, and then you know, your trunk, your bumpers, all those things are in that catalog and are parts that you're going to need to make it weatherproof.
So it's easy enough to find a seal that you have there, maybe cut a sample off of it or something and compare it to the sample kit or something in the catalog. But what about like the trunk of this now? There's no seal back here, and just by eyeballing it, you can't tell exactly what you need. So if we want to add one, how can I tell what I need there? I can't tell just by eyeballing it.
Yeah, so this piece has a flange that goes down in here. So one thing that we suggest is taking a piece of putty, sticking it down in the channel, closing the trunk or door, and then that will give you a mold of what that gap size is. You can then take that, get a measurement off of it, and you can see where that channel hits, and then you can take your measurement, and maybe you go a 1/16 inch over, but that'll be what gap size you're trying to fill.
Well, that's one place we want to seal where we didn't have one. And you noticed a couple of things here when you were looking at the car over here. And of course, anybody can see that one on the A-pillar there.
This was a custom kind of cut piece that ended up working, but now 18 years later, it's starting to fall apart. And visually, this catches the eye really easy. So that's definitely going to be something that we want to replace. And it's very easy to do so with some of the peel and stick.
And then inside the door, there's another seal that you noticed is going bad, and this one's easy to see as well.
Yeah, so again, another seal that was just something that would work. That uses a cheaper pressure-sensitive tape, and we use a 3M tape, so it's a lot more substantial than what that is, and it's not going to degrade like that does.
Gotcha. Well, we're going to be working on that next time we see Danny in Steel Rubber here on Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. When I say engine additives, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking snake oil, but that is not the case, Joel, when it comes to RVS Technology. You guys have been around for 20 plus years. How do you stay relevant after all that time?
That's a good question. I think the number one answer is that we're unique in the marketplace, and we are not an oil additive. We're an engine additive, transmission additive, and power steering additive. We do not change the properties of the oil.
So what happens? How does RVS Technology work?
We like to call RVS to cure for metal friction surfaces. So Our product works in metal-to-metal friction surfaces where heat is created and it adheres to those surfaces, creating a mirror-like surface that's harder than metal. It reduces friction, bringing the added side benefits of increased power, reduces fuel economy, reduces emissions, and it gives your engine much longer lasting life.
How does it add life to the engine?
Well, the coating is so hard that once you apply our treatments into the engine or mechanism being treated, you'll start to see that it really doesn't wear down. And you'll see that by the oil not getting as dirty. There'll be less contaminants in the engine. So we see up to 50% longer engine life out of components treated with our products.
Amazing. And in this day and age, folks are worried also about fuel mileage. So
Exactly.
How do you improve fuel mileage with RVS?
It's twofold. If we have a vehicle that has more mileage or more wear on it, then our product, which differentiates from everything else in the marketplace, is that it can actually restore new material into the engine and components. So if we have a worn engine that has, let's say, 100,000 miles, 120,000 miles, it can actually build new material. We'll get increased compression, less blow-by, and then also the added benefit of the coating being so friction resistant, you get that benefit as well. It all adds up together where you use a lot less fuel, you lower your oil temperatures, you get more horsepower out of the engine, and better efficiency as a whole, less vibration, and that all adds up to all of the benefits that you can imagine. Our transmission treatment is extraordinary. It works in all transmission types. Your continuously variable transmission, CVTs, your double clutches, your regular automatic torque converter transmissions, and also manual transmissions.
I know the question everyone's dying to ask, how often do you need to put it in your vehicle?
That's the biggest benefit of RVS. Once you do treatments, depending on your application, it lasts up to 60,000 miles. So a very long time. You only do it once and you're done.
It's been used for 20 years all over the world in race cars and cars on the road as well. It's going to be great for your vehicle. Find it at rvs-usa.com. We still got a lot more in this episode coming up, so please stay tuned.